Okay, so this is just a refresher on solving one-step equations. Okay, so just a refresher on one-step equations. So if we've got 2x equals 8, we're trying to think of the value of x. So when we put it in there, 2 times x is 8, because in between the 2 and the x is a multiplication. So remember that we do opposites. So then the opposite to timesing by 2 is divided by 2. Remember, what you do to one side, you do to the other, because that way we keep it balanced, okay? So 2 divided by 2, that disappears. Make sure that then you write the x under the x, the equals under the equals, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4, okay? Setting out is really important here. So if we look at the next one here, that's divided by 4. So what divided by 4 is 6. Now you could try and come up with your head, but if you do the opposite, because that's a division sign, when you have over 4, you multiply by 4 on both sides, because the opposite to dividing by 4 is times. Then you end up with x under x equals under equals, and you do your calculation. 6 times 4 is 24. And I know for one step you can probably do them in your head, but I want the setting out because that way it'll build your skills for the harder ones. Okay, if you look at this one, we have minus x. Minus x is like having minus 1x. The operation in between the minus 1 and the x is a times. So the opposite to timesing by minus 1 isn't adding minus 1, because it's what is in between the minus 1 and the x, which is a time. So if you divide by minus 1, and then that's the opposite to timesing by minus 1. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Minus 1 divided by minus 1, they cross out. X equals 8 divided by minus 1 is minus 8. Okay, minus 2x, so that's a times there. Opposite to timesing by minus 2 is divide by minus 2. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Minus 2 divided by minus 2, that disappears. 12 divided by minus 2 is minus 6. Okay, so this one here we've got, I know we can figure it out in our head, but the opposite, just to get the opposites going. So the opposite to minusing 5 is to add 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, they cross out and you get x equals, notice I'm lining everything up, the equal under the equal, the x under the x, and then 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 equal sign per line. We go minus 3, because the opposite to plusing 3 is minusing 3. They'll cross out. You get x equals, the 3's have cancelled out because plus 3 minus 3 is 0. Minus 8 minus 3. So that's down 8, down 3. So if you're at 0, you go down 8, down 3. So you're down 11. Okay, now we could do this in our head. 6 minus what gives you 2? The answer's 4. But I'm just going to show you how you can use equation techniques. This is what we're doing here. In front of the 6 is a plus. Now the sign in front is the sign that goes with it. In front of the x is a minus, because that minus goes with the x. So it's going to be minus x, and then it's going to be plus 6 equals 2. So I'll just rearrange it and put it in the order that might make a bit more sense. Now I need to get rid of the 6, because that's furthest away from the x. So I minus 6. So you get minus x equals, the 6's cross out, because it's plus 6 minus 6 is 0. 2 minus 6 is minus 4. Okay, I'll just get rid of this one. And then that's a minus 1 there, and there's a times in there. The opposite to timesing by minus 1 is to divide by minus 1. So I divide by minus 1 on both sides. The x's cross out, the minus 1's cross out, and the minus 4 divided by minus 1 is 4.